Hello, I am back with week 7 dev updates for Pixel Rush RTS. Thank you very much for following the story. Today we have massive updates. It's going to be very demo heavy. So we have the new campaign mode and we have multiplayer mode. I built the infrastructure for both of these in the last 2 weeks. So first, let's show you the campaign mode. So you've got, you got your little dragon character here. He's got his own set of controls. He can run around, he can sprint, he can walk, he can jump. And the idea is that this is sort of your level select screen. So let me go ahead and run into this level. And I'll show you a new feature that was added to make the campaign levels a little bit more dynamic than a versus mode. So we've got this concept of here, and if I can get some monsters forward far enough, I'll show you what I mean. We have this new component here, the monster spawner. So it's counting down, and as its countdown completes, it spawns a new monster type. And so this is to have the campaign mode a little bit more dynamic. There's going to be other type of like scripted monster behavior as well in the campaign mode, such as when you hit here, for example, there's a certain trigger and certain monsters will spawn and attack you to make more dynamic and interesting levels for the campaign mode. And so here I will go ahead and destroy these monster spawners. You see that the explosion spell was strategic use for such a level where you're being bombarded by so many monsters. And let's see if we can get rid of this last monster spawner. There, we got the last monster spawner, so there's just a couple more monsters to deal with. And they'll go ahead and tag their base. And so this is when I will show you the other feature of campaign mode. So let's go ahead and finish off their tower. And so we also now introduce this basic star scoring mechanism. So you can, on a scale of 1 to 3, clear certain campaign levels more or less effectively. So then when you load back into campaign, first off, you see that the position is saved, but then you also have your star data saved. So this is already all hooked up to Steam Cloud, and so we're totally integrated there when it comes to the back end of the actual save data. So more or less, that is campaign mode. So my goal for the next update 2 weeks from now is to build out more campaign levels. And so you see that all of these levels right now are forest themed, so they're dungeon themed, and potentially I think the other theme is going to be beach themed. So you see in campaign mode now, you have the idea of home and exit. So home will bring you back to the campaign level select screen, where if you exit, you're going to go right back to the main menu. So just these nice little polish features like that. Okay, so now the big one that everyone is waiting for, multiplayer. I built out the infrastructure for multiplayer, so I've got basic infrastructure built so that 2 clients can connect to each other. So let me boot up my second machine. So I've got my laptop here. I'm gonna boot up Pixel Rush on my second machine and connect on my desktop machine. So I'm building out the multiplayer infrastructure was built out using the Steam API and the SDK integration. So we do not have dedicated servers. I don't plan on releasing dedicated servers unless the game becomes popular, because there is quite a bit of upfront development time as well as actual cost of having that dedicated server spin up on a cloud service provider. The actual infrastructure that's in place right now is that it is searching online. It opens up a lobby. So we've opened up this Steam lobby, and when I come over to the second account, I make sure that I have the same level selected. So I've obviously got to have the level 4 selected if I want to match in this lobby, and then I can go multiplayer over here. So the lobbies were found, and we are now joining the game. So on the left here, you've got the host machine, and I will play a Dragon Spark. And on the right here, you have the client machine, and I will play this Sun Blossom. So this is essentially what I've got so far. So you can play multiple Sun Blossoms. You can play the heal spell. So when our monsters meet up, So here's our monsters meeting up here on the client machine. I can play the spell and it shows up on the enemies radar as well. Here I'm gonna put another Sun Blossom. You can see that guy immediately show up on the player screen as well. So we have evolutions working. So you see as I evolve on the client machine, it appears on the host games. So I've got all of that like that basic stuff all set up. So the game more or less works as expected. In a multiplayer fashion now at this point. And I'll let one side win the game so that you can see the end screen dialogue. Host machine is going to be winning the game. And here's the client machine's tower getting destroyed. And now you see the different game statistics. So on the left, you've got the host machine summoned 10 units, whereas on the client machine it says the opponent summoned 10 units. So obviously can't rematch. So even if I go back main menu in the client or the host, at this point the lobby's disconnected and you're able to view your post-game statistics. So now, if we want to queue into dungeon, but I'm queuing in on forest on this side, for example, I'm going to create an account, I'll create a lobby, and I'll create a lobby in dungeon, and the connection is never made. But if I go cancel here, dungeon level, so then I'll load the dungeon level on the client machine and go multiplayer, and now the lobby was actually found because we're looking for the same level. So here we got again, the host spawning on this side, and the client spawning on this side, and as everything else goes, these monsters are going to end up meeting somewhere in the middle of the battlefield, most surely. So for next week, 2 weeks from now, next update, I want to keep building out more campaign levels. Maybe I'll have 5 levels completed. I want to finish off the props on the dungeon level. You see the dungeon level is very bare. And I'm going to keep working on the multiplayer mode infrastructure. So matchmaking, a feature called geographic widening that slowly broadens the search to less and less viable ping if there's no one in your general vicinity. And then I'm going to implement specific game invites from friends and this team overlay feature, so you'll be able to challenge your friends specifically online as opposed to just entering into the main queue, as well as server performance. So you did see that the client machine was running a little bit slower and choppier than the host, and it's not just because my laptop is less powerful. It's the same way vice versa if the laptop is the host machine as well. So this is what I'll be working on for the next 2 weeks. So as a reminder, here's the main roadmap we initially presented when I first launched the Steam page 7 weeks ago at this point. We've moved up the majority of the Q1, 2027 Q1 and 2026 Q4 features. So this was all moved up, and I'm currently working on the multiplayer functionality. I've got 2 multiplayer versus maps more or less completed, and the single player campaign infrastructure is in place. So, and we're not even quite halfway done Q3. Halfway done Q3 will be, middle of August. So we're on really, really good track. I still, no commitments about Steam Demo. I may participate in the October Next Fest, or I may participate in the I think the next fest is in January, and that'll still give me lots of time to fix up the game from the Steam demo feedback. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember, everything you see here is live on my website. Now, the caveat is that you won't be able to play multiplayer online. You need to be connected to your Steam account. So multiplayer is something you will have to wait for the official release or demo, and actually at the end of the time when we release, actually purchase the game in order to play multiplayer. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following the progress of the game. I will see you soon. I promise I'll get a tutorial out. I've been very busy. You can see here I've got a nearly 20,000 line PR open here. Oh, let me move my face here. 20,000 line PR open here for the multiplayer. So I have been grinding. I will see you in a couple of weeks and maybe next week for a tutorial.